Meal ticket, meal ticket, comma up. Still in my liver, real niggas in my.
More show. Episode number
show.
2. Episode number 2, right? Yeah, it's number 2. Yeah. Yes. It's rolling.
We're in a new venue. We was at Herman's house last time. This time we're at my house.
Yes.
And we just spent about 2 hours getting ready.
2 hours setting up. It's crazy.
Because I went to London with my kids today and didn't get back until much later than I thought I would. But this is all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
I could
actually
sit
cool.
here chatting for a few hours, bro. I feel quite comfortable right now. We've got the TV there in case we need to pull anything cut.
Yeah. It's very handy to have that here. I don't have a TV at my house, so that wouldn't.
Yeah, you see
that
what I was
wouldn't
just telling
work.
you, brother, about when you just live in civilization.
It's like, you've never seen a tripod before. No, I've seen the short one. I've never seen the tall one.
Yeah. Do you know what, bro? Do you know what that makes me think of? We can cut out anything. If I say some shit, right, it just pisses you off, bro. We can just cut it out later. Like,
No, I actually want to keep that shit.
But one time we was at Statpro, where we met.
Yeah.
And we went to lunch, and it was like, I've known you a little while now. I think we was pretty comfortable around. We got comfortable with each other.
So
quick,
very
bro.
quick, bro.
Like,
It
when
was
I
quick.
think about it, like, me and you were just chatting, like, about everything.
And it was like,
within a couple of weeks.
and the funny thing is, like, if anyone had seen us, the person would have thought, these guys, they know each other.
They've known each other for a long time.
Long time.
That's,
Yeah, it wasn't the case.
Nah.
It wasn't the case.
And I remember we was going to lunch, and it was like it was coming into summertime, and you were like, bro, like I'm sweating a lot. Yes, like, bro, like I'm proper. I feel so. I don't know what it is. Like I'm proper sweating. And I'm like, well, you are sweating, bro. And I'm like, yeah, that's when you're just like completely unprotected. I was like, bro, you use antiperspirant, right?
I remember that.
Knowing you didn't. And you was like, using what? I was like, antiperspirant. And you're like, what's that? What does it do? Man's like, and this is the thing, and this is why I think I'm quite I've been told I'm an insensitive person, but I think I'm quite sensitive because I was like,
the thing is, like, you always use like some funny words, right? The word I've never heard before.
yeah.
Why couldn't you just say deodorant or something?
Because I explained to you that antiperspirant is different to deodorant.
Okay.
And you was like, oh. And
Yeah,
you just didn't
and I
know
didn't
shit.
know that. Yeah.
Which
I
is
didn't
just
know
some
that. Yeah.
like, that's bro. That's mad because that's like, to me, that's like I'm just giving information to Herman right now like I'm his dad. like let me just inform you like on the intricacies of just like life, just like living. Like that was like a distant cousin to me teaching you how to shave, bro. You know? And I feel like I handled that with quite a degree of what's the word?
Diplomacy.
Yeah, I
Or,
think so.
Careness.
No, I'm gonna go out and just put my neck out, bro, and say I handled that like I was noble, bro. I'm gonna give Herman this information because it's information that'll be very useful to him. I know that he's the kind of man who will utilize this information.
Yeah, I'll definitely, and I did.
Yeah,
Because the next night, I think maybe that day or the next I think I went to the shop.
Yeah.
And I looked for antitransparent. I was just like,
and it made a difference.
and it made a difference. Like, and
to
I
your
used
life.
it. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I've never had like this conversation again after that. But I was just like,
You've never gone
this
back.
is, this is like this is dope. This is I was like, this is working.
This is it.
Yeah.
This I don't sweat no more.
Because then you were saying, and then that's when I actually realized what was the difference. Because I had deodorant,
You know,
I was using that, and I was just sweating. I was just like, oh, this.
you know that's the ultimate life hack.
Yeah.
Anti-person deodorant is the life hack.
Yeah.
So what do you
Like,
what do you
here
mean by
go.
life hack?
It's like one of life's hacks.
Just
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
your
yeah.
life
Once
so
you
much
hack
easier.
that,
Everything is just
And
different
then,
after that.
yeah.
You're never gonna
Change.
sweat. Your
Yeah,
white
that's true.
t-shirt's gonna stay white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really made a difference. I think there was another time where we had we went to a restaurant or something. I think we went to that Brazilian restaurant we used to go to.
Yeah.
To Wimbledon, and then you used the word cutlery, and I was just like, what what the heck is that? Like, what we just talk normally, just talk like a normal person. I was like, what is cutlery, bro? Yeah, bro. That's crazy.
But like I was just like, yeah, man's just like got here. Do you know what I mean? Like, you didn't grow up here. You didn't grow up with me.
Nah, bro.
With the same stuff going. You grew up in a different world.
Yeah, bro. Very, very different. Like, I still remember the first time when I got to Hungary the first time, right? And I like only the cold. I didn't leave the house for like probably 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was just at home all day long. I was just couldn't stand the cold. Like, it was just crazy.
Oh, for real?
Only that alone was crazy. And then the day I actually managed to get out of the house and I go to the shop, no one can speak. I couldn't speak properly English at the time. And I couldn't speak Hungarian either.
Yeah.
And there, people didn't speak English, so it was only Hungarian. And then you go to the shop and you just want to buy eggs. You don't like you can't actually communicate. It was very frustrating, bro. Like, for the first like 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And then
Thank God you didn't speak any Hungarian before.
No, I didn't. I actually had to learn.
See, this is the stuff that like. So you tell me, yeah, I lived in Hungary first. I left Cameroon at this age and went to Hungary. And you tell me the stories, and I thought to myself like, yeah, Herman's like some fucking like
well traveled.
Like Herman has like made tracks in the world.
Yeah.
Herman has traveled far from where he started. Like, he's done some shit. But I don't even think of the intricacies. Like, you didn't even speak like the language when you got.
Yeah.
And you was how old?
I think I left Cameroon, I was probably 21, 22, something like that.
That's young.
Yeah, bro.
No, but old at the same time. Because the younger you travel, the younger you leave, I believe, the quicker you adapt.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you go without fear.
That's true.
Herman would have come over here with quite like a lot of fear. Maybe he wouldn't have known, but he was into the unknown.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? Like, I never really felt like I was scared or something. I felt like it had to be done and I would do it. I just found a way. And it's always been my mindset, bro. I was like... But
you feared the cold.
Yeah.
Without knowing that.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Because then when you felt it, the fear kicked in. Like,
exactly. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. But is it really fear though? Yeah.
It is. Trust me. It's just a different type of fear. It's not scared fear.
It's not scared fear. It's just
not a fear where you're
it's like you're not comfortable. You're not comfortable.
Yeah, you're not confident with how your reaction is going to be.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And also, I think there's like too much stigma around words like fear. Like, people don't want to say like, oh, it's fear because fear is a bad thing to have. Fear is not a bad thing.
Exactly.
It's just a bad thing to obey. To obey.
Yeah. I think you need to be aware that of your fear. Like, it's like, for
or else
example,
it will affect you and you won't even realize.
Exactly. Self-awareness is a big thing. Like, so when I see people I went to this thing in London Eye, in the city.
London Eye.
Yeah. And then like, every time I saw people, I see people there, I was just like, this is crazy, bro. I went there once because my brother visited me from Germany.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's go and do something fun. I would never do it myself, like just go there and just like stay, because I'm afraid of heights. I can't stay, I can't be in those kind of situations. But we went there and I was like, that shit was moving. I was just holding everything I could at the time. I was like, this is crazy.
Oh, you went on it?
Yeah, I went on it.
The thing is that if you're scared of heights,
if
you're scared of heights, the eye is one of the worst things to go on.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's suspended and it moves.
It is.
Like, anything moving is worse than if you're just standing on a high building.
Yeah.
Because you're like...
Do you think it helped with your fear though? Like, are you less scared of heights now?
No, I'm still scared of heights. That hasn't changed.
It's like the cable cars. Have you been on the cable cars?
Yeah.
I hate them.
Oh, see, I don't have none of that. I don't have any fear.
Because you can feel it moving. Like, it doesn't just go from one side to the other, it moves around.
Yeah, like it shakes. But I've never been heights was never something I was scared of.
It's funny, the first time I go into the elevator, I had the same feeling. Because like, I was just
When was that? The first time you got into an elevator?
I was in Cameroon. There was an elevator.
I was gonna say, bro, like, because you're telling me this like it was recent.
But then I realized that like the one that we have in common is not.
How old are you? Like, how do you remember that experience?
Bro, I remember so much thing. Like sometimes I talk to my mom and I would tell her stuff like I was probably 4 years old and she'd be like,
so you're telling your story now from you was 4 years old?
no, this is not this that I wasn't. I was 18 at the time when I.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I was 18 at the time.
Yeah. You can't be telling me about the first time you got into an elevator.
No, I was 18. No, but the first time I was 18. The first time I was going to the first time,
Right.
and I was going to Ministry of either Finance or something. I was just going to deposit my file for either a job or something official. I was just going there to do something official, and I got in there. And it's like that's how I knew, because when I came here, when I went to Hungary, it's like I could see the different technology, right? Like the elevator that we use there is it's like old school shit. Like you can feel that it's moving. Yeah. But here you don't. Like you feel like it's you're standing still.
Just whoosh.
And then you're there. Yeah. It's crazy.
Bro, like in relative terms, you're basically living in like Star Trek, innit? You're just seeing like from where you came from, like comparing it to that. We're just teleporting places, isn't it? That's where you're. Do you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to did you ever see the Ricky Gervais podcast?
No.
He used to do this thing. He had this what's the guy's name from Idiot Abroad? Carl Pilkington.
Is that a movie?
No, it's a TV show on the BBC where it's just this guy. So you know Ricky Gervais, right?
Yeah.
He had this producer. I'm pretty sure it was Carl Pilkington, and him and his writing partner, I forget his name. They were doing a podcast and they'd have him on and just have this guy tell them like this guy was just mad. Like he just had these like mad ideas about stuff. Like I remember I watched this one episode of Idiot Abroad and he went into this whole thing about, or was it the podcast? He was going on to this whole thing about when someone dies, like they should die and then like a baby should come out of them. so that anybody and he's saying this seriously, like I don't even think this is like he's like, no, this would be good, like if things were like this. And he's like, yeah, because basically, people will be sad that, Alice has died, but now they've got this baby that's come from Alice. Like, and I remember Ricky Gervais was like, but don't you think that's a pretty good like setup that you have a baby and then you're still alive to look after that baby? But when they did this podcast, they put it onto like YouTube or BBC iPlayer or one of those things. And because they only had the audio, they just animated the visuals. So while Carl Pilkington's like telling this story about the lady, you'd see an animation of the lady dying and then having the baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would love it if we could just like for this TV show, for this web series, like when you're telling me a story about Cameroon.
Oh yeah.
You could just cut to a little animation.
And then we go. Oh yeah, you pointed out last time we were talking about some money. What was talking about?
I was talking about embedding animation in our environment. So we were talking about a pile of money.
Yeah. And then
just animate a pile of
money. Yeah. Next to it. Yeah. But that's different because that one will that was
this
like,
one would just be a full animation that you couldn't see us, it just cut to it.
Okay.
One day, Rav.
That'd be like a podcast like no other.
It would, innit?
Yeah, no one else would have that.
Actually, is
and I feel like that is not an incredibly difficult thing to do.
No, it's not.
It's just inserting. Like once you create the actual widget, it's just inserting it into whatever you want.
It would just take a long time. Like this is the thing about me, bro, is I want to do all that shit. And because I'm ghetto, I'm like, let me just learn how to do this shit. Let me just take a year out of my life to fucking learn animation.
To not pay someone.
Yeah, to not pay. That's the shit.
But I don't even think that the paying someone is a problem for you. It's just like you love the process of.
It's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. It is a bit. I don't want to pay no one. But it's also a thing like I would love to be able to do animation and be able to do that exactly as I want it done. You know what I mean? But the truth is, and this is what I would think like that, but then. And it's because I've got this specific idea in my head and I'm like, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Well, what I've learned recently is that if a person is an animator, what they would imagine is not what I would imagine. but they spend all day imagining this shit. So they'll probably imagine
I
something
think
better,
I think they will
if
do.
not as good.
Yeah, if that's the full-time job, like they will do a fair job of representing what you want. Yeah.
If they're a professional, you know what I mean?
I'm doing it well. It's funny how like this IT thing is like it's just becoming so far-fetched for me now. Like I can't even believe that I have a degree in IT. So all this tech stuff, like it's just like magic to me now. Like I was like, oh, how do I edit a video? I was actually googling that the other day. I was just like, how do you edit a video? And you see 15-year-old guys doing that shit easy. And then I'm struggling. I'm looking at it. I'm like,
but the thing is, Premiere Pro, that is easy. I've used that, and I used what's it called? What was it called? Final Cut. Like that was like the.
What, he's on Mac?
Yeah, Final Cut was like the editing program software once upon a time. Was it Final Cut? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, using those actually is really easy. Like when I take you to the editing room for these, like you'll get it in no time. And this is the thing. This is what I like about working with you is I know that when I show you, you'll fucking do it. You'll be in like you'll sit there and get that done.
If the one thing that I'm good at is like I'm fucking good at execution, bro. Like if of course sometimes like it depends on like the mindset as well. Like if you're going through something in life and then right here you can't really do much until you fix this. But most of the time it's like if this is alright, and as it is most of the time, bro, I'm a fucking machine. I woke up this morning, I was just like working on my eBay. I opened an eBay account, start setting up stuff, PayPal, took picture of like all the jackets I have. I came from Cameroon with like a lot of jackets.
Oh, is it?
That I actually want to flip. They're really dope. You should. I forgot to show you that when you came home last time. Like they're really nice. Yeah. I have a few pictures in my phone actually.
You fucking better show me.
I have a few pictures on my phone. I'll show you. So there.
Right, now you got me like. Remember that other day when you was talking about you spoke to, what's that guy's name? You spoke to Thingy about doing this web series podcast.
Oh yeah. Chelsea.
Yeah. And I was like, bro, you should know by now, right? I'm the only guy that you approach for shit like that. I'm like, oh, you got all these nice jackets from Cameroon just sitting in your house here, and you ain't said, I was in your house, bro. I was in your house. How dare you?
And I've been thinking, you know what's funny? I was actually looking at because the idea I was telling you the first time was just like, I'm gonna look for free stuff and then get them and then sell them.
Yeah.
But then I realized that it wasn't a good use of my time, because what happens is that all these people, they live like in different places and it's far, right? It's like it's time wasted. I'm gonna live here, go to Sutton and then come back, go to Mitch and pick up this item and then come back and then pick up this item. And these are not like high ticket items. Like you probably gonna be able to only sell them for like £5. But then you have to take in consideration that eBay is gonna take the cut. The post office is gonna take the cut, and then it's only after that you end up with something. But if it's a 5 ticket item, it's not really worth it because you think about it. Like from here to Mission, I'm probably gonna spend like £5 on transport costs, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't add up. Then I was like, okay, I need to rethink this. I was like, oh, I can buy stuff online. Like I don't even have to leave the house. I can just buy the cheaper stuff online and play on arbitrage. It's like buy on fucking like I don't know Adidas. They've got discount at the moment. I've got good eyes for good stuff. So it's like I pick the one I like, and then I just relist it on other platform, and then that's it. And I think what I like about that is like it's very practical. It's a very practical idea, and and I started implementing that. And then I forgot that actually came with jackets. So while I was doing all this research, I was like, shit, I've got stuff from Canada, bro. And I was like, no. And then I remember I had that, and then went to my room, opened it, like, I've got problems.
The blow is good, the hoe is good, the show is good, you know it's grub. Cool as me out front, they can't cool stoking folk, you know it's love. Clean as tight, no head and shoulders.